Hey y'all, it's Indigo here, coming at you with round 3 of the 3v3 Grand Arena going on right now. This is the championship round. So, when I opened up my Grand Arena, it was a little bit after it had started, and I had an opponent that went for it straight away. And that rarely ever happens. Usually I'm waiting forever and ever, or they don't attack at all. So, this guy went for it right off the bat. Started tearing through my squads, and I had put my Darth Revan up north in the first zone, and I figured if he would attack that, maybe he gets stuck there. And I went and made the south zone as hard as I could with like bounty hunters and Karth, and put some Night Sisters down there, trying to make it as hard as I could, so you would think, oh, his hard stuff is all out front. There's no Revan or Jedi Revan or Traya or anything, so I'm good. So he probably used his Jedi Revan as a Darth Revan counter. He went 2 battles on my Darth Revan, but he did clear it. And then he cleared N1, saw what's back there, a bunch of just junk Ewoks and a secondary First Order squad. Nothing that would, give anybody pause. And then he cleared my south zone, got through the hard stuff, and lo and behold, there's Jedi Knight Revan waiting for him in back with Stormtrooper Han, Vandor Chewie, and L3 tank team back there. So that's what it was looking like when I entered into my Grand Arena, and I hadn't gone yet, and my opponent was still attacking. So let me show y'all how I did and what battles I had to do, but he did struggle a couple times, so I had a little bit of breathing room as far as not having to go perfect on battles, and that's always nice to have, that cushion. So let me show y'all my battles, and then we'll go back to what my opponent was able to do. First battle is my First Order against his Bosk Bounty Hunters. I really like to use this counter team, but one thing you'll notice I didn't pay attention to is his Bosk went first, and he's double Zeta, so he was able to get the taunt off. So I'm forced to, even though I stunned him, I'm forced to attack him because he's got the taunt. So had to deal with that. It makes it a little bit inconvenient, but is definitely still doable. I've had some guildmates that haven't had success with it, but I didn't really, struggle too bad. You got to make sure your Stormtrooper, mine has the First Order Stormtrooper, mine has the Zeta, and he's decently geared, and he's got plenty of protection and health. Got to make him real tanky so that you can see he got down to yellow, just so that he can survive that kind of onslaught while Executioner builds up. So there we got rid of Bosk. Now it's business as usual. Start getting rid of Cad Bane because he can stun you, and that gets to be annoying when you get a stun and you don't want to be stunned. So we'll try and take him out, and it's just Executioner, doing his thing. Got to let him build up so he can take out decent chunks. There he goes. Once he gets down to health only, he'll end up going pretty easily. So there goes Cad Bane. And now we're just going to put in our work on Boba. Right there went a big chunk, and you can see I'm just kind of whittling him down, trying to see if I can get some health back, but it didn't work out that way. 52 banners for that one. So we'll move on to the next one. Next up, we've got his Mother Talzin lead, Night Sisters. So I went ahead and used my Bastila team. I got Ezra in there, and then Hermit Yoda, just for the Master's training to help with some damage. But still is pretty good because she gives you the extra tenacity and that extra protection. You got that kind of cushion to be able to absorb some hits so that you can get those extra banners. You don't have to worry about plague because they're going to resist the plague with that extra tenacity bonus that they get. So that's nice. And then even if they got it, I had Hermit Yoda there just for the heal for that. But it turned out it wasn't too, really necessary. But it's better safe than sorry. I really don't like Night Sisters. Can't stand them. And he put both of his Night Sister teams in this zone. And I just hate that because there's certain teams you have to use to counter them. And this was one. Luckily, I saved it. So you can see Bastilla makes pretty good work of Night Sisters. No problem there. 54 banners. Good for that one. Now the next team, this was the real troublemaking team. And this is Asajj lead, but with Zombie and then Night Sister Spirit. And the Spirit was fast. If I remember, with the bonus from the leader, it was 284. And there's not a whole lot of characters I have that are going to be able to outspeed that, but also be able to survive because of all the damage that they're going to take and the fact that Night Sister Spirit will stun like it did to a Scion there. You really want Traya for this because of the fact that she'll cleanse the debuffs and you get that automatic healing whenever they attack debuffed enemies, and the fact that they really can't be stunned or ability blocked or, anything. It's like the debuffs really don't affect them. So definitely got to worry about things like that ahead of time. If I would have taken in a weaker team, I would have lost. But I was able to annihilate Asajj, which is the main troublemaker. You don't want her powering up from Zombie dying. But next, you get stuck behind Zombie's taunt when it's inconvenient, and it just kind of drags out the match. But that's okay. Scion got, he's taking the hits like a champ. He gets a little bit weak. The only thing I had to worry about, this is why I didn't want to use my Traya, because I'm thinking, man, if I use it, I know I can beat this team, but my Traya is also my Jedi Knight Revan counter, and I didn't see his Jedi Revan or a Darth Revan out front, and he had a weak Darth Revan. So I was curious what he had waiting for me in back. I was like, I'm going to be screwed if there's Jedi Knight Revan waiting for me in N2, because I'm not going to be able to clear it. And then he would automatically win more than me because I would only be able to clear his south at most, and he already cleared, my north and then one of my zones in the south. So that's my thought process all going through my head. But once you click that battle button, what's done is done. You got to just make your choice and roll with it. So here I am just putting in work. You can see how long it takes just to take out those two. But annihilated Spirit, got Zombie just to take out, and it's just a matter of, can I get any more healing or protection back? Not really. So sayonara to Zombie. Done with that match. Put that one out of its misery. Thankfully, this is what he had behind there. No Jedi Knight Revan, just a Bastilla team and some Jedi and Rebels. So nothing that I really had to worry about. So I went ahead and decided while I was there that I would take out the Bastilla team. Just used Kira lead with Nest. I'm sure you guys have seen this counter before. Worked out pretty good. Worked out the way it should. I mean, it did its job. One time I used this counter and it didn't work, and that was whenever there was a Hermit Yoda in the Bastilla squad. You got to watch out for that because the Hermit Yoda gives, so much buffs and more offense and things like that, that Bastilla was able to actually stun and debuff my Nest and do enough damage to get through and eventually kill her. Well, without Hermit Yoda there, it's just standard stuff. You can just put it on auto. Nest is going to go ahead and keep counterattacking and doing damage. And every time she strips buff, she powers up her critical damage. So there went Ezra, now going to work on the other two. And every time they buff up and she strips those, that's going to help her just power up and power up. You can see she does end up getting stunned, but it's not to the point where never is she like in the red zone for health. So I don't have to worry about that as I would if there was Hermit Yoda involved. Then it would be pretty risky, and I probably wouldn't even do it. But here you just let it go on auto, let Nest wear down the bonus protection, which does take a while. My Nest is modded for tenacity, and I've slowly been increasing the speed. So still worked fine. Plenty of banners for that. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one. So we'll flip down to his south zones again, because I already uncovered the north and wanted to see what was back there, and just killed that Bastilla because that was the counter I had for it. So I went ahead and used it. But for the rest of these, I want to go ahead and clear his first zone in the south. That way we can see what's waiting in that back wall. He's only got 2 slots in that last zone. So I'm pretty confident that, you know, it doesn't matter if he had a Jedi Revan waiting back there or Darth Revan or whatever. I don't have to beat it because he's stuck on mine. And if I got stuck on his, as long as I'm more efficient getting there, I win on banners. So it's nice not to have that kind of weight, knowing that I got to worry about this and be more efficient about that. Nah, it's all about just seeing what he had and using the teams that I got. And I have a good amount of firepower left. So here I just used Rex Wampa and then Chopper as a tank against his Empire squad. You can see that it worked out pretty good. Rex died just because he's squishy, but Wampa does all the work and Chopper will take hits like a champ. So all I had to do was beat that 1-in-1. 49 banners, but it doesn't matter. Go into the next battle. I used my EP with Thrawn and Tarkin against his Scoundrel team. Vandor and L3 can be a pain. He's got Lando lead, so they get, a little bit of extra damage and then some speed. And that can be annoying, I guess, but really it's just the Vandor revive mechanic and L3 being able to taunt and counterattack that gets annoying. But if you can keep her fractured and keep her stunned and then just not damage her to where she'll start cleansing other buffs, then it's all good. So that's what I do. Keep her stunned, took out Vandor, then it's easy street. I don't have to worry about her. Fracture her again, deal with her last. Now it's just her, so there's no danger of losing. I did have to end up using my Thrawn, which, along with my Traya, as part of my Jedi Revan counter. But like I said, at this point, it's not a matter of if he had Jedi Revan in the back that I would have to beat him. So I just wanted to get through this team in one battle. Clean win. Good enough for me. All right. This last battle that I have in the South 1 zone is his Rogue One team with Jin lead. I'm sure y'all have seen this team. There's a number of different comps that can beat this team. Here's the one that I went ahead and used. Went ahead and used Vader lead, and then I got Shore in there for the tank and the healing, and then Death Trooper. Death Trooper is pretty good if you're not going to use him elsewhere because of his grenade that will do the AoE dispel and also increase the cooldowns. And then once you do kill one, it's going to make it much, much easier to get rid of the rest of them with his death mark. And the fact that he double taps on his basic if he's fighting against rebels. So killed Jin, increased some cooldowns. Now I got to deal with Chirrut and Baze, and they can get annoying, but between the two of them, there's not a ton of punching power, not with Shore out there to be a decent tank. So I threw Death Mark onto Baze, and that way I can take out some really good chunks of damage. Killed him. Chirrut did his heal move just one move too late, and that was all she wrote for that team. Easy enough. So now that his South 1 is done, in the back he's got some clones, and he's got a droid team. It's an HK lead droid team. So nothing really fancy that I have to worry about. I got plenty of firepower left, so I should be able to clear both zones. Let me show you what happened. We're going to start off by going north to finish off that zone, because he cleared my north, so I want to make sure to match what he did for me. He's got his rebels there, but they're slow compared to my imps. Went ahead and took in Veers, Stark, and Range, and it's no contest. Could have thrown it on auto for that, but these guys have plenty of firepower. So boom, 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 54 banners for that match. He had up north was his Jedi. He had a Qui-Gon Jinn lead with Isla and Anakin. And like I said, I got plenty of firepower left over, so throw my CLS team at it, no contest. Obviously, you guys know this team can take down a whole lot, and these leftover Jedi aren't going to do anything to them, so I didn't have to worry about that. At this point, it's just a matter of locking down the win, but, you know, I'll show you what I did anyway. I mean, we know it's gonna get the job done, but I know people like to watch the battles, but they did get over pretty quickly. So that was the end of that zone. Now I matched what he did, cleared the north, cleared the first south zone, so we're good there. And you can look at the score. It was 1982 to 1985. I would just had to clear the one more team to match up to what he did to me, because he's not going to clear my Jedi Revan. So I have my Rey team left, and just threw her in with BB-8 and R2 against his, it looks like it was Rex 5s and then B2. But, and that might be decent if you were throwing in like Rebels or something else, but not against JTR. I mean, like I said, I had plenty of firepower left, so took out Rex, took out B2. Now it's just a matter of taking out the last one. And he's stunned right there, so he's not going to do anything. Just keep doing my moves, doing what I can do. Throw some burning on there, remove turn meter, and do the double move here. Boom. One more attack, and this one will be all wrapped up. I was trying to see if I could heal back or possibly get to Illuminated Destiny, but that wasn't going to work. So 53 banners for that one. The last team is his droid team. He's got HK lead with IG-88 and then K2SO, which isn't bad. I mean, it would be good if it was his old leadership, I guess, but K2 makes a decent tank, even though IG-88 is squishy. But here there's nothing they can do against my bounty hunters. These are just my leftover bounty hunters, but with Boba being able to ignore taunt and also remove buffs and execute, and Cad Bane's got the stun, and Jango can burn and do everything he does, no danger of losing this one. So if you got some scrap bounty hunters left over in 3v3, think about something like this. Just look at what they can do and, you know, put them to use. So that's what I did there. Finished off that, cleared his board, and he got stuck on my Jedi Knight Revan squad. So there you go, guys. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters. Give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace!